fellas? It's your boy Sean J coming at you live and direct with another one. Today's topic of conversation is my journey to staying drug free. Now, fellas, if you see my last video, you would know that I started smoking weed when I was in 8th grade. It was back in '99, I believe, because 2000 was freshman year. So yeah, that was back in '99. Started smoking weed in 8th grade. Smoked weed for many years. I'm just about to give you a little story time of how I quit smoking weed and how I stay sober. Now, I've been sober from weed and alcohol, but alcohol is for another video, right? But I've been sober from smoking weed since 2020, guys. I feel great. I clear-headed, clear-minded, no fault. Like feels so good just to stay sober, and that's like the best thing for me. But 8th grade when I started smoking weed, like I said, fellas, it was definitely to fit in. Trying to fit in, you know. Started hanging out with the fellas, the wrong crowd. What I'm trying to say, started hanging out with the wrong crowd, and I got into the habit of smoking weed. Now, I was a heavy smoker. I mean, even in school, like freshman and junior year in high school, your boy was high all the time. Like, me and the boys would smoke before, during, and after school. Sometimes we smoked before school started, during school, and then cut class and go smoke the rest of the day away. Sometimes we smoke in the morning, and we'd be at school. We'd be literally physically at school, and we'd just be like, man, let's bounce out. And we would just bounce, catch the bus back downtown, go to the crib and just smoke. That's all I was ever doing, was getting high. That's all I was ever doing, and just getting high. I was getting in all kinds of trouble, and you know what I'm saying? Me and my mom didn't have the best relationship back then, but now we good though. Now we definitely good now. But I started becoming addicted to it. I needed it because all the stuff I was going through, it helped me cope with everything I was going through. I was always getting in trouble with the law, probation violations, in and out of DT, in and out of trouble, basically. You know what I'm saying? Every time I turned my head, I was getting locked up for stupid stuff. You dig what I'm saying? And I would have to honestly say though, guys, I think my peak of smoking weed had to be, me looking back on, the peak of me smoking weed was probably like the most hardcore is when I was just going hard at smoking weed, was probably in either sophomore or junior year in high school. I think I got out probation, and I started probation in freshman year, and I got off probation in freshman year. I think I got off probation the end of sophomore year, I think, if I'm thinking correctly. Got off probation, and it was either sophomore or junior year, fellas. Either sophomore or junior year is when I got off probation. I've had so many probation violations. I was on probation. It seemed to me like forever. I ain't even gonna hold you. It seemed like it was forever. And because I was always on house arrest. Just a bunch of stuff, man. There's a bunch of stuff that came with the trouble I was getting into. You dig what I'm saying? But honestly, guys, I know it may sound crazy, but like I said, the peak time of me smoking weed, like when I was smoking weed in my hardcore, is probably, I say sophomore to junior year. You may be like, that's not even a long time to smoke weed, which at the time I thought it felt like a long time that I was smoking weed because that's all I was doing. So, like I said, I started in the 8th grade, then you got 8th, 9th, and 10th. I smoked weed hardcore for like 3 years. Even when I was on probation, I still was sparking up. And it's funny because after a while, the weed started having a different effect on me. I wasn't having as much fun. I noticed that I wasn't having as much fun on weed. I noticed that I wasn't as happy on weed. I wasn't really laughing like I used to laugh. I didn't even have the munchies anymore. I never got the munchies on weed after a certain point. It's been the strangest thing. Cause early when I was smoking weed, like 8th grade, I would have the munchies, man. I would have tons of snacks and just taking the joints down. Like I would have the munchies, legitimately, legit munchies. Like after a while, it wasn't like that for me no more, fellas. It was just like I smoked weed and the same thing would happen to me. I'd be stuck. That's the word I like to use, stuck. I'd be stuck on stupid is what I'm trying to say. I'd be stuck on stupid, fellas. I'd just be sitting there, stoned as hell, just sitting there, doing nothing. Depressed too. Because, weed is a depressant. So, and that's another thing. How in the world do people in prison smoke weed in their cell? They sneak weed in there and they smoke weed in their cell. I never understood that because I would go crazy smoking weed in my cell or getting high in my cell. That make me even more depressed. But that's another story for another day, right? But I started getting stuck on stupid, as I like to call it. Stuck on stupid, bro. Sitting there, burnt out, tired, no motivation to do anything. Just stuck on stupid. Ain't got nothing going for me as a teenager. You know what I'm saying? Not really going anywhere, not moving any, you know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So I think that stuck on stupid stuff started to happen in I think it was like late sophomore year, so the end of 10th grade into 11th. And then things started to change because mom moved us about the hood. We moved out the hood. We moved to another spot in Salt Lake. So things really started to change. And I started hanging out with the friends less and less. This is after I got off probation. I started hanging out with the so-called friends less and less. I started smoking weed less and less. And it wasn't even a thing of forcing myself to stop. It was just naturally. I was just like, I don't even want to smoke anymore. But even at that time, though, let me tell you guys, even at the time when I was smoking, like I said, I started drinking really started drinking in freshman year. So it went from the weed to the alcohol. So then the alcohol became my friend. But that's another story for another day. I'll share that in another video. But the alcohol was my friend. After I started drinking alcohol, I noticed that, I'm just having fun. Like, you know what I'm saying? Till this day, alcohol it hasn't really did me wrong like that. That's another story for another day. I'm not even going to go in on that. I'm gonna put that in another video about that. But so I stopped smoking like the end of 10th grade into 11th grade, and I would go on long streaks without smoking. And I think the main thing was because I seen how much trouble I got into in a span of 2-3 years. About 3 years. Seeing all the trouble I got into, I seen how depressed I was. I seen the effect it had on my family. I seen the effect it had on my mental. I seen all that. Give me a sec, guys. This thing is backing up. Okay, we're good now. So I seen the effect it had on my mental. I seen the effect it had on my family, the relationships I had in my family. It wasn't good. You know what I'm saying? In and out of DT and stuff. So I slowly but surely was like, you know what? Weed is not for me no more, man. So I just stuck to alcohol. I said, weed's not for me. I can't do this no more. But over time it just slowed down. It slowed down so much. I ain't even gonna lie about it. I didn't even care about weed probably after 10th grade, 10th into 11th grade. I didn't even care about weed as much. Now I would smoke every once in a great while. I go on streaks where I didn't smoke for like 6 months. Longest streak was probably 9 months to a year, to be honest with you. And 9 months to a year, and yeah, I didn't desire it. I didn't desire it as much as I used to. It just wasn't the same. And the funny thing was, no, what? Yeah. Give me a sec. So the funny thing was, I thought that I would smoke weed for the rest of my life. When I was a stoner, I thought I'd smoke weed for the rest of my life. I was like, man, I'm smoking this for the rest of my life. I'm addicted. I love this. I love the way it makes me feel. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was gonna smoke for the rest of my life. No, sir. You ain't smoking for the rest of your life. That was definitely not the case. That definitely wasn't the case. So let's fast forward a few years, guys. I say, after a while, and I told all the boys this, I didn't like smoking no more, and they supported me. They didn't really push it on me like that. But here and there, I would smoke. I remember I was in senior in high school, and I was at a whole different school. Met up with this cat, and we smoked during lunch. Oh man, nightmare, bro, nightmare. Like, I went to class, I was so high, I was hating it. I ain't even gonna front, I was hating it, fellas. I sat there stuck on stupid. Like I keep saying, stuck on stupid. I couldn't comprehend anything. It was just a mess, fellas. So that was like motivation for me, just to be like, man, I can't smoke no more, man. I may as well cut this out of my life forever, because it's just not doing me any good. It just doesn't. I don't get no benefits from it no more, fellas. I just don't. It doesn't benefit me at all to smoke weed. It just doesn't. And I'm gonna say fast forward to 2020. Now, before 2020, I probably stopped smoking for like a year. And then 2020 came, and I mean, I got a little a little dime bag or something like that, a little small sack of weed. And I was excited because I ain't smoked in a year. I said, you know what? I feel like smoking. I feel like smoking. So I literally went to the pipe shop, got me a glass pipe, one of them $20 glass pipes, got me a lighter. I was like, yes, I'm going to smoke tonight and watch a movie. Fellas, let me tell you, I took about 2-3 hits. After not smoking a year, fellas, I was tripping. I couldn't comprehend anything. I couldn't concentrate. I was watching a movie, fellas. I was watching a movie. I've seen the movie 5-6 times, and I still didn't know what was going on in the movie, fellas. It was a disaster. I was in like, it's like almost like I was having a panic attack. Like, I was cooking food, fellas, and to be honest, I lost my appetite. Like, I just got turned off from food, and this is in 2020, and I was just like, man, I can't do this. I can't do this no more. Why do I put myself through this, man? Why in the world do I put myself through this? And from that point, that last time I got stoned, guys, 2020, I made my mind up 100%. I said, you know what? Can't do this no more. I gotta stay sober. I mean, you know what I'm saying. That's alcohol. I'm saying I gotta stay drug free. I can't smoke this shit no more, man. Cause it's not doing me any good. It literally not doing me any good. I'm not having fun. I'm not happy. I'm not laughing. I don't have the munchies. It just wasn't doing me any good. So I ended up quitting. I quit for good in 2020. Never had, and since then, guess what, fellas? I ain't had a craving to smoke ever since. I ain't had a craving to smoke ever since, fellas. I ain't had a craving to smoke ever since. I enjoy being drug free. I think a lot clearly. My mental is sharp. I'm sharp. You know what I'm saying? I ain't wasting all my money on weed no more like I used to. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my story, fellas. Like, comment, subscribe. Deuces.